There are things we simply don't expect to hear, especially when it involves one of the guys who became a symbol of overcoming challenges on the field in the last season. But it seems the atmosphere in Cleveland is changing, and a bombshell decision may be on the way. The fans barely recovered from the last offseason, and now they have to face this, the real risk of losing one of the most popular names on the roster, and the worst part, before the season even begins. The topic this time is Joe Flacco. That's right, according to an article published by Bleacher Report, the veteran quarterback could be cut before Week 1 of 2025. The analysis by Alex K placed Flacco's name among the most shocking cuts that could happen in the upcoming weeks in the NFL. The reason? The fierce and crowded competition for the quarterback position within the Browns roster. Before we dive into this debate, do that combo that helps the channel a lot. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. Would you keep Flacco, or do you think it's time to move on? I want to see the Cleveland Nation making their presence felt in the comments. Now let's get to the facts. The Browns currently have 4 quarterbacks vying for a spot. Kenny Pickett, who recently arrived in a trade with the Steelers, the 2 promising rookies, Dylan Gabriel and Shadir Sanders, and of course, Flacco himself. The problem is that carrying 4 QBs on the final roster isn't practical, and with Pickett and Flacco competing for the same veteran backup spot, it's hard to imagine both staying on the roster at the same time. Alex K was direct in the article. If Flacco doesn't win the starting job, which is quite possible, it doesn't make sense to keep a 40-year-old as a backup, especially with 2 young players waiting for their opportunity. The reality is tough, and it seems the Browns front office is already starting to calculate roster space. But let's talk from the heart now. Those who followed the end of 2024 know very well what Flacco delivered for this team. He was the one who stepped up when no one else believed. He led improbable victories and took the team to the playoffs. The fans embraced him, the locker room respects him, and his name has become synonymous with resilience in Cleveland. On the other hand, the NFL is a business, and a cruel business at that. The team invested heavily to bring in Pickett. They drafted 2 QBs who want to prove themselves, and with a roster limited to 53 players, every spot becomes a fierce competition. In 2023, for example, the Browns had already carried 4 QBs during the offseason, but ended up trading Josh Dobbs before the debut. Now, when the scenario could repeat itself, and there's more. The market could shake everything up again. Just 1 QB from another team getting injured in preseason, and suddenly, Pickett or even Flacco could become trade targets. Nothing is guaranteed. Anything can happen. The mere idea of cutting a guy who became an instant idol in the city hurts the fans. The question remains, will the front office have the courage to part with such an emotionally significant name, or will Flacco once again silence the critics and secure his spot through his performance, just like he did at the end of last season? Now it's up to you, Cleveland fans. If you had to decide today, would you keep Flacco on the roster, or do you think the future of the position is in the hands of the younger players? Comment below, because this saga is far from over.